Hello everybody, this is Robin from Apex Problem Media, and today we are going to touch on powerlifting competitions. Powerlifting as a sport has grown exponentially over the past few years, so it's more than likely we're going to have new competitors at every meet that don't know the ins and outs of a meet. So today we're going to talk about start to finish of how a meet works. In this video we will touch on everything from rules to judging, to general strategies and things to consider. Please note that when we talk about rules, it is just the general rules, and those rules may vary, small or large, depending on what federation you're in. So when you watch this video, please go take a look at the rules and guidelines of your own federation when it comes to powerlifting. Powerlifting is a strength sport that originated from the combination of weightlifting and bodybuilding in the earliest 20th century. Initially, it also had the strict curl and the overhead press before making its way to just the squat, bench, and deadlift. Powerlifting gained prominence through organized competitions and with its first national competition held in 1964 in America. The formation of the International Powerlifting Federation, aka the IPF, was formed in 1972. This marked a significant step in internationalizing and legitimizing powerlifting as a sport as a whole. Unlike Olympic weightlifting, which emphasizes movement technique and speed, powerlifting is solely maximal strength. Over the years, the sport has grown in popularity with divisions based on age, weight, and gender, and two other categories, which is called raw and equipped. Powerlifting has continued to develop, but not only in physical strength, but also through discipline and strategic planning in training and peaking for a meet. The main objective of powerlifting competitions is to test the maximal strength of all three lifts, the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Competitors are able to do 3 attempts at each lift, with the highest lift being recorded. The sum of these highest lifts, adjusted by a formula to compensate for weight discrepancies, makes the athlete's total. Athletes compete in various weight classes and are often divided by age and also gender. The winner is the competitor who lifts the most total weight, with tiebreakers usually being decided by the lifter's body weight. Powerlifting comes from raw strength and power, mixed with a very technical aspect that comes from an ever-evolving knowledge of biomechanics. Strict rules are in place to ensure proper form and proper safety. For reasons including competitive integrity and just common sense, powerlifting employs a weight class system not too far off from boxing or MMA. Weight classes ensure that you are lifting with someone closest to you in overall mass. You wouldn't want a 60 kg lifter lifting with another 140 plus or unlimited weight class powerlifter. For obvious reasons, that just doesn't make sense. Weight classes are further divided by age, gender, and other pieces of equipment you use to further maximize competitive fairness. Like we mentioned before, athletes get 3 attempts per lift: the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. Your first attempt and every attempt after that determines where you are in the flight. That is so that the people adding the weight to the bar, aka the loaders, can just keep adding weight heavier and heavier. Instead of putting on weight, taking off weight, then putting on weight again, they go from lightest weight to heaviest weight for each flight. After each lift, you may choose to increase the weight by whatever value you choose. If you succeed at the lift, you cannot stay at the same weight, and if you fail the lift, you can stay at that same weight, but you cannot go any lower. So you must make intelligent decisions when choosing your first, second, and third attempts. The essential pieces of equipment at every powerlifting meet is the combo rack, the barbell, and the plates. These pieces of equipment often require a special certification to prove that they are of acceptable quality, and all barbells and plates must be calibrated to a high level of accuracy. The combo rack, as the name suggests, is a rack that's used in combination for both the squat and the bench press. It has several forms of adjustment for height and for width to accommodate any athlete. Barbells can vary depending on your league or federation. Some allow only a standard power bar used for all three lifts for the squat, bench press, and deadlift, whereas other federations employ either a squat bar or a deadlift bar to help with those respective lifts. Lastly, you have the weighted plates. Most weighted plates are color-coded all the same and are mostly in kg rather than the pound plates you see at normal gyms. As a quick side note, all collars for powerlifting competitions are 2.5 kg, so all weight on the bar is accounted for. As for your personal attire or equipment, the three most common pieces are the singlet, the belt, and the knee sleeves. There are other pieces that are either optional or not always permitted, such as the knee wraps, the wrist wraps, or the elbow sleeves. Like the general powerlifting equipment that you see at meets, your personal attire also has to undergo special certification. The reason being that one person's equipment should not have a functional advantage over the other. This means that any differentiation in lifter's equipment is just a personal preference and accessibility. Competitive powerlifting is full of rules and regulations, which may seem like a drag, but it is very important for the competitive integrity and standardization of each lift. Rules ensure everyone is lifting to the same standard, regardless of height, weight, and proportions. Each lift is overseen by 3 judges, 1 in the front and 2 on the sides. You will either be given a red light or a white light, which is either a fail or a pass. You need at least 2 white lights from 2 separate judges to pass each lift. We will go over each lift and the common rules, but please bear in mind that every federation is slightly different and we don't want to go over every single small detail, so we're just going to go over the main general rules. For all 3 lifts, there are different commands that you must adhere to be able to pass each lift. The first and arguably most important rule about the squat is your depth. Depth is literally just squatting low enough. To be able to determine your depth, you must make sure that your hip crease is below the top of your knee. Depth is hard to judge from the front, so typically the head judge, aka the front judge, will never call for depth. Another common rule that haunts everybody on the squat, bench, and deadlift is the up-down rule. The rule states that once the bar starts going up, it cannot go back down. If that happens during any 3 of the lifts, it will be considered a fail. Bench press differs from both the squat and the deadlift because there is a command mid-lift. Once you unrack the bar off the bench, there is normally a start command. When it goes all the way down to your chest, it must be motionless on your chest before you get a press command. Once you get that press command, you're able to press it all the way up. Once you are all the way up, the main judge will give you a rack command, and then you are able to rack it back on the combo rack. The hand placement on bar is very dependent on personal preference. However, there is typically a maximum grip width in which is depicted by the rings on the barbell. You also have to be cognizant of the up-down movement as well while pressing upwards. For the deadlift, there's only one command, and that is at the end of the lift. When you are fully locked out at the top, you will hear a down command, which you must put it on the ground with your hands still firmly on the bar. A soft hinge or a soft lockout is considered a no lift, and that is when your knees and your hips aren't fully locked out at the top. You must also avoid ramping and or hitching. They're both kind of different, but essentially it just means using your legs to assist the lift. And again, no up-down movement on the way up. A powerlifting competition is typically only one day for each lifter, but that is also considered the easy part. It is the months of hard work, dedication, and discipline that the athletes put in that make all the difference on meet day. Almost every coach and athlete has their way of training and coaching that is to them the best way of coaching or training. But typically, programs are designed in a way that make you feel the strongest, most rested, and well-nourished on meet day. This is often called peaking, and is not exclusive to competing, and is not exclusive to powerlifting. Oftentimes, powerlifting is not just physical, but mentally fatiguing, and there are some really good days and some really awful days. All you can do is train intelligently and hopefully show up on meet day as the best version of yourself. Despite powerlifting's often rough exterior and hardcore perception, powerlifting's community is arguably one of the most inclusive and welcoming sports or hobbies. Everyone wants to see everyone else succeed, either on or off the platform. A big part of this is due to the fact that competition between competitors is very minimal, especially at the amateur hobbyist level. Each lift is a chance to better yourself and your total. Powerlifting competitions are often only possible due to its tight-knit community and the volunteers that it produces. It takes a village to run a competition, and the citizens never fail to show up. If you are looking to get into powerlifting, already are, or just want to see what a meet is like, please consider volunteering at your local meet. It will get you exposed to the environment, and it will make it seem less daunting. You can find your local meets through Google or just checking your local federation's website. We have gone over all the basics you need to have a fundamental understanding of what it's like to be at a powerlifting meet, so you can go to your first local meet or your loved one's meet. Thank you for watching, and please give us any feedback as it helps us make better videos for you. You don't have to like and subscribe, but if you found value in this video, it greatly helps us too. That's it.